All right, we are live. Welcome to the REmarketing Podcast. My name is Jerome Lewis. I'm your host. This podcast is powered by Digital Real Estate Strategy. Our content, the purpose of our content is to discuss marketing, tech, business, and leadership. And typically, our content is structured for real estate agents, real estate investors, and real estate entrepreneurs, but anybody can digest and enjoy the content. Next, we have two purposes for this podcast. Purpose one is to spotlight you or your business. So I'm talking to the guest today. We have Carlos Otero. Our purpose is to spotlight you, your business, your service, or your product in a way that provides value to you, including market exposure and content creation. Our second purpose is to educate and inform our audience and listeners. And next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce Carlos. So Carlos Otero is a highly skilled IT professional, real estate investor, and business investor. He has been employed in the industry for over 6 years, where he specializes in network engineering, systems administration, and support. Carlos's experiences range from small businesses to Fortune 500 companies in various industries, such as manufacturing, healthcare management services, and real estate development. He also enjoys investing in cash flowing real estate notes, and businesses. Carlos loves to solve problems, whether they are technical or personal. He enjoys working with people who have new ideas because there is always something to be learned from those that think differently than others. His favorite thing in life is being able to help others achieve their goals and dreams. So, Carlos, welcome to the podcast. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I really appreciate having the opportunity to be here. It's a little bit about myself. Basically, I have a IT support business right there. Jumpstarter 101 all-in-one business solution. What we do is we provide IT support as well as give business owners a all-in-one platform solution for their systems. Okay, so sometimes if people are using Mailchimp, sometimes people are using CallRail, they're using Zoho, they're using all kinds of different software. What we did is we tried to bundle all that up together, give them a better price point with support. Okay, so we will walk with you from A to Z on how to start your business remotely if you don't have one, or if you already have a business remotely, we will be able to support you. Okay. So that is what we do. Also, with that money, what I like to do is I like to buy real estate. That's one of my favorite things to buy, as well as businesses.
Right. And that's how we met. We met in the real estate industry at a
That was
real
it.
estate event. Right. So
Yeah.
what I want to do is, so I think that people don't always fully understand what support is. So can you break
Mhm.
that down? Can you explain support in a way where maybe a
Yes.
kid can
Yes.
understand it?
So, it's a really good question because a lot of times when people think support, they think of this person kind of, just helping you with this one task and then it's going to cost a lot of money. Okay. That's not what it is. What this is a dedicated support representative. Okay. You're going to get a dedicated support representative, meaning you're going to have somebody explain to you the process, what the product is that you're going to get. So let's just say we're doing a Google ad campaign. Essentially, what we're going to be doing is we're going to explain to you how the process is going to go. We're going to walk you step by step through what we are going to do, even though we're going to do it for you. But we're going to make sure that you are educated on the process. And then on top of that, you can ask any question you're looking for anytime. Okay, so you don't have to know everything. You don't have to build the website yourself. You don't have to build the funnel yourself. You don't have to know about ads. You don't know have to know about marketing. You don't have to know about how to build slides. You don't have to know anything. You are getting a dedicated support representative. All you have to do is call us for help, and then we're going to be able to solve your problem.
Okay, I appreciate
That's
that. And
mhm.
that's because one of the things I like to help people understand is that you don't need to do everything yourself or know everything yourself. However, there are some things that you do need, right? And tech, right? Tech is a big one. Tech is a big one that you need. Marketing, like you
Mhm,
said,
mhm.
campaigns, all of that stuff are all of those things are things that you need in your business. However, you don't have to learn them yourself. So the service that you're talking about, I admire because uh, people need people need this in their businesses. So what I want to do now is I want to move over to the questions, and the format typically works like I ask you a couple of personal questions, and then I ask you some questions around your business, and I'm going to start with the personal questions. So I got three personal questions for you. The first question that I have is, if you could go back and give yourself, your 18-year-old self, one piece of advice, what would it be?
If I could go back in time and tell myself when I was 18,
Yep,
maybe stay away from
18-year-old Carlos.
maybe I would stay away from the food if I looked in the mirror, right? Maybe that would be the first thing. But no, if I was to go back in time and tell myself something, it would definitely be to love yourself. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. That is, especially if you're growing up in a tough background, like a lot of people, everybody has a story. And one of those things is loving yourself and getting there and never putting anybody before yourself. You got to take care of yourself before you take care of others. That's what I would go back in time and tell
Okay,
myself.
next question. Next
Okay.
question. If you could be remembered for one
uh,
thing, what would
right.
it be?
It's going to sound corny, right? But it is being a good man, being a good man and a good leader. That is so corny and cheesy, but I'm a strong believer in character, and I that's the thing I value most in a person is good character. Whether or not you're gonna do the right thing, I'm that guy. I'm a strong believer in justice and doing the right thing, and you know I'm just that guy. So
I don't think it's
yeah,
corny. Being a good man, we need that these days. It's not enough of that out there. Like, be a man, We
right,
get
right, but not just
society is
yeah, yeah, not just being a good yeah.
feminizing some things, right? Am I allowed to
Yeah.
say that? So I think
It's your
I think it's
podcast.
okay, right? I think it's okay to say that. Being a good man, being a decent man, having nobility.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Yes.
so
Yes.
next question, we got three for you. And so what has been your least favorite job or project?
Man, least favorite job. I got to say Walmart. I used to work at Walmart. I had a lot of bad jobs. I was a car salesman. I was a door-to-door salesman. I was a I was a lot of different things. Now I think about it. I was a I was a lot of different things, but I can say Walmart was the worst because it's the mindset of the people. The mindset, and it's nothing, not everybody at Walmart, not everybody, but at this Walmart, there were just people there. Like there wasn't a positive environment for coaching. So you would think that you want to empower your staff to be able to them for them to do their jobs and do it effectively. But a lot of people they felt like just because they're a supervisor or manager, they felt like they're better, right? And you don't ever really want to do that. You want to be able to coach your team. You want to be able to say, hey, look, here's where you got to improve. Here's where you're messing up at. This is what you got to do. And we're going to set you on a path to improvement. You want to empower others. You really don't want to, say, oh, you're worthless. Get out of here. And I wasn't. I'm a smart guy now, but I wasn't always the smartest kid, right? So, when somebody tells you, hey, you need to go do this, I'm like, well, I don't really understand. Can you explain it? Like, how much can you show me? Oh, oh man, never mind. I'm like, come on. There was just no leadership, just bad leadership, essentially. And that is why that job was tough. Not to mention I was a janitor as well. So, I had to clean up the bathrooms. I wasn't that wasn't so
But
good.
yet, and still Walmart was still the worst.
Well, being a janitor at Walmart.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the bottom of the bottom,
That's the
Keep
bottom of the
going.
yeah, I was
Sheesh.
down there. I was down there. Yeah, yeah. Oh man. I think
All
I
right,
I think I took the bus 3 hours to get there every
three
day.
hours
3 hours to
from
get
what
there
was
every
the
day.
commute? Which Walmart? Like, where was it?
The one near Norristown, and I was living in Alney, and I was working
Okay.
overnight. So I had to, if I missed that, like I would get on one bus and I had to go to sleep on there, and then get off at what is it, Plymouth Meeting Mall, and then get on that bus and then go to sleep. But I had to wake up at the exact right time to jump off that bus and get to that Walmart.
Wow. That
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that's a good lead into the next section. So we're going to talk about like business, industry,
Okay.
expertise, and the question that we have here is I want to know is what is the most important lesson that you've learned over your career or in business?
The most important lesson I've learned in business and over my career is to bring value to others. Okay. So essentially, we go through life and thinking that it's all about us, and it is, right? It's your life, right? It's all about you. But if you are looking to get ahead in life and you want more out of life, you're going to need help with that. Okay. You're going to need assistance if you want to accomplish anything. So, in order to accomplish something, and you're going to need assistance, you're going to need to give somebody what they want in order to bring them to your cause. Okay. So there's plenty of times where I need to help on a system or some kind of project. Like right now, we are building an ad campaign. Sometimes I'm limited to what I know, so I need to bring somebody on board, right? And money is not always the best currency for somebody. Maybe they want training. Maybe they want an opportunity to speak with you about something. Maybe they want food, right? Maybe they want anything, right? It could be anything. But money, cash, is the thing that people will take, so that way they can then go buy that thing that they actually want. So that's why most of the time people accept currency. But it's just one of those things where you have to be able to tell what other people are looking for, and it's okay to ask, what exactly are you looking for? Like, what do you want out of this? Like, why are you doing this? And maybe don't say it that way, but maybe you say, okay, what, this is what I'm looking for. Is there anything I can do for you? Like, like what do you need? Is there something we can, negotiate and speak about? This doesn't always have to be cash. So
Makes
that is
sense.
yeah, bring your value.
Appreciate that. Next question.
Mhm.
What is one piece of advice you'd give to someone starting out in your career? So before we answer that, let's pick because you do like a few things. What
Mhm.
career would which would you say is your most prominent career?
IT support.
IT. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so what advice would you give regarding that?
Okay. So, and I would give the advice on the real estate or anything else, but it would be to get a coach. Anything you do, you want somebody to teach you. Think about it. You go to your job and you get training how to do that job, right? Your parents are the people who train you on how to walk. You go to school to learn how to read from a teacher. All these things you're getting experience in learning. So always get a coach, even if it's financial, even if it's a financial matter. You're not really sure how to manage your money. Go get a coach. Always get a coach. Always get a coach. Always get somebody who's been there and done that, and then just keep going from there.
Okay. Next is, in your opinion, what is the most important personality trait slash strength someone would need to work in your industry and be successful in your industry? So similar questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
The personality trait, I would say definitely being adaptable and being um, relentless with learning. You have to know how to adapt and change because technology is always changing. Information is always changing. Sometimes you can know something one day and the next day it changes. So, this is, the world we live in. Things are accelerating so fast with the information. You really have to be able to be adaptable, and kind of not know everything, but some people say just focus on one thing, but you need to know a lot, but then specialize in one thing. That's what you need to do. So I would definitely say adaptability.
Okay.
Mhm.
Next, did you always want to be a IT professional?
No. It's funny, man, that life will put you in situations, man, where you don't want to do. I've been trying to avoid IT my whole life, and every time I try to get out, they keep pulling me back in, and it's beautiful. Honestly, I really love it. It's just a gift that I know this stuff, and you try. It's like something you try to stay away from, but it's like, oh, you really don't have a choice. You got to do this, right? And I wanted to do real estate, which is what I'm doing still, but I I thought, I was like, hey, how can I get into this before I knew how to do terms deals and stuff like that, right? How to do deals with no money and all this other stuff. But now that I know the skills and I know they're so valuable, and it's like I see people that need help with these skills. So I really don't, it's like I don't really
Yeah.
have a choice but to
Can't get
help
away
people. And
from
I'm
it.
like, damn. But during the, but I like to think about it like everything happens for a reason, and how I learned all those skills at the job. When I was working at the job, just character development, knowing how to negotiate with people, to learning how to talk with people, learning different cultures, getting educated, learning processes, learning systems, learning standard operating procedures. You learned all those things while going down this IT journey because it's all about communication and it's all about learning. And so I did not always want to do this, but I'm happy to be here, and I've learned to leverage what I'm good at with IT because I'm very technical, but I am not, as technical as some people would be. Like, I'm very even at some of my jobs, they're like, you're pretty sociable, man. I'm like, this guy, me? And he's like, yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Right. They say
but
IT people have social, we got social issues, they say.
so, a good space for me is like project management, stuff like that. Like that's where I'm really good at project management, working with people. Hey, here's we're going to set this up here. We're going to set this up here, blah, blah, blah. So just because, the people say IT, it doesn't always mean you're doing this, right? You're wearing your glasses and you're
Yeah.
typing something. It doesn't always mean that,
Right. It's so many
there's,
sectors.
yes, there's different areas of doing this. And so, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Next, so what's one lesson your profession has taught you that you think everyone should learn at some point in their life?
Hmm. One lesson that everybody should learn.
Yes,
Um,
that your profession taught you.
okay. Uh, let's see. What is it? What is that's a tough one. That's a tough
Yeah.
one. That's a
It's,
tough. That's tough. If I could
do you
say
do
that
you
there's
have one that your profession didn't teach you, and then maybe
yes, is
like
that
okay,
be careful of your words and listen before you speak because what you want to do is you because everybody's going to have a different opinion on something, right? Everybody's got an opinion, right? So you have to be able to understand what the people are saying. You have to be able to communicate with them effectively and understand like what is this person actually trying to say to me? Because you go from one background and you do this, like you do the head nod, right? Like, hey, what's up? And you do the other one that's down, and somebody might be like, oh, that's just disrespectful if you do down, and some you do this if you do up, and like or if you shake somebody's hand, like I remember there was like some there's some white guys at the job, and they're like, what is that? Like, what are you wearing? I'm like, well, it's just this, and it was just, what I'm saying, it's very culture, and they're trying to understand, and it's not really, sometimes people can misinterpret what people are saying. And it's very important to understand that where people are coming from, why they're saying what they're saying. Like I literally just got off the phone speaking with a seller today, and they were like, you know, they're like the Chinese just moved in over here, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, right? But I'm like, well, what is that? What does it mean anything? But he's like, oh, they all live in like one place. But what he's trying to say is that's his experience. You know what I'm saying? That's his experience. And I
yes,
don't want to take away from people's experience. You have to understand what people are trying to say to you. You have to try and understand people and not just try to battle them. That's what I can say. So
okay. So you're in the IT space as well as the real estate investing space, and
yes.
one of the things that I realized in my experience, like I came from the IT space too, is that the real estate, in my experience, is
Mhm.
the real estate space is a little behind on the IT. Do you have a similar experience, or what's your perspective on that?
Okay, so my perspective is that a lot of people that do real estate, and this is strictly from my perspective. Now, remember, you got to be able to understand what I'm saying. It's not and not badger me, okay, guys? A lot of people that do real estate, there's no need for them to learn the corporate tools that a person that would get a typical job would learn, because they already have a solid system. You go into this system, then you use this system, then you use this system, then you use this system. It's a simple process. There's really not many moving parts for the most part. When you're going to a job, they're going to teach you everything you need to know, especially if you're at a big corporation. And I think it's not just real estate. I think it's other industries too, but definitely real estate, because there's no need for automation. There's no need for systematic setup, and for a lot of this stuff. And if people don't need it, they won't use it. That doesn't mean they actually don't need it, but it just means that they just won't use it if they think they won't need it, if that makes sense. So
That does
yes,
make sense.
so that does, whatever people think they don't need, they're not going to use it. And a lot of times you'll see people not using marketing because they think they don't need it. They think, but you absolutely need it. But you think they don't need it. They think they don't need systems. They think they don't need, just all kinds of different things. Training, right? You need training. You need systems. You need processes. It's a business just like any other business. And it's just one of those things where yes, it is definitely their technology is not there for people, but I'm not sure if it's really a problem because they should be hiring somebody to do that for them, right? That's what this is. That's what this is. If you need help, you're supposed to reach out for assistance. You're not supposed to do everything yourself. And if they had jobs, they would understand that. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? If they ever had
Yes.
jobs, you would say, "Oh, I'm just going to get an IT guy. I don't need to do this." Like you hire a plumber to do plumbing, you hire an electrician to do electrician work. Oh, you're supposed to hire a marketer to do marketing. You're supposed to hire a um a tech person to handle my tech stuff. That's how it's done. So once you understand that way of thinking, then the person can basically get out of the mindset of I don't need this, because in order to run your business, you're definitely going to need it.
Right. So you said you had stopped for a little bit and you were like, this is you need this. You need this. And you're pointing to your logo. So
Yes.
uh can you tell people how they can get access to this and what you're talking about when you say this?
Yes. So Jumpstarter, if you can see that right there, I got a big head. If you can go to jumpstarter101.com, you will see our services listed. That is just some of the services that we have. We have a lot more services that we can provide for you. Anything you kind of need, we can essentially build it for you, or we will contract that services out and handle it for you. Right? We'll be your liaison and be your support representative to handle these projects. Okay. So jumpstarter101.com. That is how you can just fill. If you're requesting a demo, we can. There's a green, really big green button that says request demo. Just click that, and it'll send me an alert, and I'll make sure I set up a call with my team, and we'll begin helping you on your project immediately.
Okay, and so we work on stuff together too. And just recently, you have a ebook coming out, right? Put some pressure,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And how can we get that? How can we get access to that book? And can you tell us what that book will tell us?
Yes. That book will tell you some information on how to start a business. Okay. So, essentially, just information that kind of stops people from running a business. Like, one of those things is people think you need to have credit in order to start a business. You don't. You don't need to have good credit. You don't need to have a lot of money in the bank to have a business. Okay. You don't need a perfect credit score. You don't need to know everything. You just need some information. And we do have a course. I do have a financial education course. I got a personal finance course, a credit course, and a how to start your business from A to Z course. I have this so that way people can then take that and then be able to essentially start their business from scratch, and then understand that, hey, when you're ready for an IT support representative, you can always give us a call. We'll be able to build your system for you. If we work with some clients right now where we build their courses and their ad campaigns and stuff like that. So you don't really have to do a lot yourself. You just have to have the idea, and then say, hey, I need you to go do this for me, and that lease out that project to someone else, and then that way you can focus on running your business and not all the other parts of a business.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to get into the some podcasts, they say fire round, closing session,
Oh,
whatever.
fire
That's what we're going to
round.
do,
Okay,
right?
okay.
So basically what we want to do here is we want to provide the audience with some resources on how they can grow their business, learn more, or even get in touch with you. So I'm going to start off with the first question. I know you like to listen and watch content more than you read. So
Mhm.
the first question I have for you is, what are 3 podcasts that you recommend to the audience and why?
Okay. And there is a reason why I do like to listen more than read. It's because I retain that information. Now, other people retain information via reading. So, but this is, he asked me, so I'm going to answer this question. Okay. So, Valuetainment. Valuetainment is very good for a mid-level business owner. If you're looking for information, it's very good. I mean, they have some personalities there and some bickering. They got one guy, he's like ultra on the left a little bit, kind of, and he's like slowly moving his way towards the middle, and understanding that the mainstream narrative is like, you got to be careful of that mainstream narrative, because they will have you essentially living a life that you don't want to live. That's the nice way I could say it. So the Valuetainment is very good. Pat Vet, I think it's Patrick Bet David. He's pretty good. I like his stuff. That'll get you in the right mindset of listening to um, just listening to another business owner that is going to say it, going to say you it's going to tell you the truth. Okay, going to tell you the truth about business and give you real feedback, because there's a lot of stuff out there where you're hearing it and it's not really real. It's not real. And essentially they just tell you that you're going to be sitting on the beach forever, right? Which you can, right? If you reach out to us, we can set you up with a remote business, and you can really work from the beach, but you're still going to be working. Okay. You're not going to be
Right.
sipping a margarita the
Exactly.
whole time. You're going to have to
It's
call
work
customers.
involved. It's not
Yes.
free. It's not passive. It's residual. You got to do some work.
Got to
Got to
do
do some
something.
work.
Got to do something.
All right, 2 more
um
podcasts.
yes, the Rich Dad podcast. Now, Pete, there was an epic battle between who's right, Dave Ramsey and Robert Kiyosaki, right? And I like Robert Kiyosaki because I'm going down the business route. Now, some people, they're not going down the business route. They're going to be an employee, and they are just going to have a family. Then you want to go down a Dave Ramsey route, pay off all your debt, right? But I like the Robert Kiyosaki podcast. He always has, the Rich Dad podcast, and that's our Rich Dad, right? That's everybody's Rich Dad. That's our Rich Dad. And essentially, he tells you just all kinds of macroeconomic information, and I mean, like you got to be careful, what he's saying sometimes because he's over here laughing at stuff. He's like a snarky guy, right? Oh, I don't work at all. I let, you can't, he's a snarky guy, but that's like just his part of his personality. But like I said earlier, you have to be you have to be able to try and understand what people are saying. And he's saying that the rich don't work for money. What they do is they work for assets. And like I said, in my business, I just earn money in my business and I go buy real estate. And the real estate works for me, right? And that's all he's saying. So, you can't, don't worry about, I don't want to have a job or get a degree because, you just got to be able to understand what he's saying and say, is this for me or is this not for me? And what is he trying to say? But besides that, all the guests he has on are good. A lot of the information that he says is very remarkable. It's honestly just phenomenal information, but you have to be able to I like to say fix your interpreter to understand what he's actually saying. So I love that podcast. It's one of my favorite podcasts. One more, the Jocko podcast. Jocko is a military veteran. He has topics like Stoic, like Marcus Aurelius, those kind of guys, military guys, right? And essentially what they do is that podcast will build your mindset to be firm and understand how to think about things as a leader and as a business owner. So it's going to get you the mindset to understand that, hey, this is a business. I still have to think about others. I got to think about my soldiers. I got to think about how people are going to be able to rally around the same cause. And but all that requires work in your mind. There's a lot of stuff on running a business, including self-development. That's what you want to listen to.
Okay. And next, let's go with 3 books that you recommend and why.
Okay, so I'm big on mindset. So As a Man Thinketh, it's a very small book. It's a very, 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 very
Oh, you
small
read
book.
that?
Yeah, that's the book that changed me. You know that book?
Yeah, I know a lot about that book. It helped
Uh,
change me too.
that's the book that changed me. That's the book that changed me. And I was like, wait, so you're telling me if I think like a loser, I'm a loser, you know? And, I just remember watching that, reading that book and then just trying to understand the world, especially when you're growing up in the ghetto, man. It's tough. It's tough because you don't know what to believe, especially with all the, like I said, the mainstream narrative. People are trying to hold you back. People are trying to hold you down. That's not true. Nobody's trying to hold you down except for the mainstream narrative, right? So, um, so that book essentially tells you that you are who you think you are, and you can be whoever you want to be, but you have to change how you think about things in order for your brain to really start understanding, what's happening, right? So, like, if you think that you're never going to be successful, and I have this in my course, this is one of the first classes. If you think that you're never going to be successful, how can your brain make any kind of sense of anything except try to not be successful? You got to think, it's like this. It sounds crazy, especially if you're not there. You know what I'm saying? If you actually don't understand how things work, it sounds like I'm saying gibberish. But you have to really know that your brain operates in a way where first you have to believe it, and then you will see an opportunity. But if you don't really believe that something can happen, nothing's going to happen. You're not going to be able to see the opportunity when it presents itself to you. You have to keep an open mind and say, is this possible? Let me hear information. So it's very important to hear different ideas. So that is definitely a must read, especially for a young man. Especially for a young man, I would definitely recommend that book. And a business owner. Yeah, a young lady, yes, as well. Yes.
Book 2?
Uh, Book 2, Traction is a book that we went to. Oh my God, here we go. He's mad I didn't mention his book, right? No. But but definitely Traction. Me and Jerome, we read that together, and it helped me understand a lot more that I am not really an integrator. I'm not a person that goes out there and does I'm not really an attacker. I'm more of a strategic person, and I try to find processes, and that's why I'm in IT, right? That's why I'm in IT. Even when I'm in IT, I'm actually coaching the guys on site to do the job. I say, hey, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. Blah, blah. I'm coaching those guys. I'm not actually doing the labor. Okay, so I'm the brains, not the bronze, and it's important to understand what part you are when running a business, and that kind of really sets you up. That book will set you up for that and help you
Nice.
understand
Number
where you
3?
where your place. Number 3, Trump Style Negotiations, a book, recommended to me by Jerome. Oh my, here we go. It's a really good book. I know people may not like Trump, but the person who had him, the person who wrote that book, definitely made him look good. And they talk about win-win relationships and how it doesn't always have to be a win or lose thing, right? Just because you're having a negotiation doesn't mean it's like, oh, I'm going to get the best most for this and you're going to get nothing. It doesn't really mean that. All it means is essentially is let's come together and let's figure this out. Let's figure this out together and let's just work together essentially. And let's make sure that we both walk away happy. That is what that book is about. One of the best books. And it's not like some hostage negotiation thing, where it's like, I'm going to get the most and you're going to get nothing. It's like, what kind of monster does that, right? It's about keeping it a win-win. So.
Okay. And final question. This was great. Where can we find out more about you and your services?
Oh, okay. So carlosotero.com. That's CarlosOtero.com. That has everything on there, including my Jumpstarter all-in-one business solution, as well as my real estate business. And essentially, you can feel free to go there, or you can go to OteroHomebuyers.com if you want to sell a home on terms, right? I love to buy on terms. And essentially, Jumpstarter 101 for the all-in-one business solution, but carlosotero.com will take you to all those links.
Okay, this was great, Carlos. I appreciate you. I don't have any other questions. You have any closing thoughts?
Sure, I don't know. You got any more questions for me, man?
No more questions,
Oof.
man. That was great.
Golly. Okay.
That was
That was
great.
pretty good.
It would be great to have you back. We can go maybe more specific and micro into different topics. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that in the future.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe we can do some kind of macro thing. I like the macro. Maybe I can make some macro videos for you.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. I like that.
Yeah, maybe that'd be fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks for coming on. I appreciate you, man. I'll see you on the next round, the next podcast. We're going to do this again.
Absolutely. Look forward to
All
it.
right.
See ya. Bye.